I'm live finally with somebody else besides me. Artie Lane. Yes, Artie Lane is here, and we'll just kind of, take a couple breaths and just see if anybody shows up. Give time for those alerts to come up. In fact, maybe I will tag some people in our group because we're just going live in our private group. This is really casual, really simple. It's like we're having a conversation. So we are talking about how our last live, where I did the 50 breaths and the animal cards, Artie was on the other end and received a card that I pulled. And of course, we're talking about how intuition plays a huge role in the spiritual stream of energy that comes out and gives us messages. And right now, this time on our planet is very powerful, so powerful. And we're wondering, I can't wait to hear from you guys to solidify the fact that this is true. More connection to nature, more connection to yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I pulled a special card for Artie. It was the grouse, a bird. And right away, I knew that there was this culture that uses swirling dances. And I kept saying, I know this. What's the name of that culture? And she's like, can't talk because, she wasn't on with me live. She's like, I know it. And so she's going to share what that is all about. That moment of the card.
The moment of the card was that I have thought about you on and off for 2 days prior, thinking that I wanted a connection. So I connect with you without calling, without being online. In a way, I felt I put it out there, put myself, my presence into your field of presence wherever you are without any technology to really do that. And then I was live when you were live, but I didn't know beforehand. It wasn't on my mind the exact time when you're there. And I'm like, oh, there you are. So, and it was like suddenly became very important to pay attention. So I listened to that. It wasn't like I had my mind going like, no, I don't have time. I should be doing blah. I didn't have to log into that. So I stayed with, this is an important moment.
Wow.
And I listened to it. So I think this is how we train intuition, and how I trained myself to be intuitive is like right now. And it doesn't matter in what source, because we like to think, oh, 3 eagles circled above my head, that was meaningful. It is powerful like that. That's how it started many moons ago for me. But now it's at every fingertip at all times, in every way. It can be that communication. So anyway, so I have been telling myself that I miss whirling. So I started in the Oshawa ashram in India to do some Sufi whirling. When you were saying you were actually thinking about the bird, which I'm also not American and I've never heard the word in English. I'm like, grouse? What? I didn't know what that is and what they do, but I missed the whirling, the Sufi whirling. And when you said something about the culture and you just made a motion, I actually typed it nervously, quickly. I'm like, Sufi whirling.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yes, is. Yeah. And
so I've been talking to myself that I need to do that. And so I could explain more why I should be doing the whirling and what the whirling does, but maybe I should elaborate more on the part with the cards. So also when you took it, I knew this is not a message from a card deck or Tah, but basically from beyond, from the angels, the universe, God, however the high power. That's how I'm taking it.
Yes. And so that's what gives me the goosebumps. That's what awakens my my celebration of the fact that we are human, but we are more non-physical connection to source energy, and that it comes through us in so many different ways. And for me, the focus that the cards give me is special. It gives me something to like it's a technique. I love the technique, and to find your own technique so that spirit can come through you is what I want to share. It doesn't have to be animal cards. It could be something completely different. So what's coming to my mind is those people with the tuning forks. Maybe it's a tuning fork. Who knows? Right? Yeah, or the sound. Yes, the music. What are your thoughts on different ways to connect spiritually, I guess? Yeah.
We must learn to pay very good attention, to be very, very present. And that's what we do when we practice yoga, sit on our mat and take a deep breath and become present. And that's how it starts. So we train ourselves to be very present. And when we're present, we hyper focus for a moment. So we see really well. Honestly, like I have, it's just reading glasses, so I can, see you really clearly. But when I hyper focus, I don't need them. And I hear really sharp. And my, like maybe the hair stands up. So you become hyper focused in the moment because your intuition is telling you to stop everything. And then our mind can do that. And it's not only when we go into fright or flight that we get hyper focused, but we can also have that right now. I'm actually starting to hear more. I hear the faraway noises and the close noises. So I'm training my intuition, and I think that's what's so important, to cultivate that. So there's a hyper focus without being alarmed, without being afraid, but we have an innate ability to do that. And that's how we start to be very present. And then we do suddenly pay more attention. We're like, oh, I didn't know there's two ladybugs just walking towards each other. And maybe there's our own little personal story, like maybe wondering about something. We all have our own little totems. They don't have to be Native American. For some people, they have like a connection to a ladybug or a connection to a hummingbird. It means something, reminds us something. I have people who feel the hummingbird is their power animal. So they shared that with me. And now when I see them, because they're not my power animal, but I think of them. So, and we build up this internal library, and it's very personal and unique, and it's very beautiful.
Right. So that brings me to the moment when we were just going live here, and it was 11/11 on April 11th. So I got to see that moment, and the universe knows that I love those synchronized moments, and that is spirit. If we stay focused and aware with these signs, they come to us. Our observation and our intuition peaks up, and I'm seeing that more and more. And I'm hearing others are seeing that double digit on the clock a lot too. So that brings us to why is it happening right now? What is this powerful moment in our world and on our planet that's just building that intuition? And it is so strong. It's not just strong for the healers and the light workers that have been doing it for their whole lives, but it's strong for everybody. I think that's the case. I'm feeling it so strongly.
I've always believed in the capacity of every human to dial into their own light. And I think this is what's happening, is people are waking up to their own capacity of their own light, and not to just shine it in a particular way, but in a way we don't even know where it shines, and also not be afraid of shining in a new way we don't even know. We don't understand yet. And I think the secret behind it is that we don't need to understand intellectual how it all works. And that is another reminder of intuition. And intuition tells us, like, I know. That's really what intuition is I know. And that's not the I know here because I read about it and somebody told me it's true. And, because that's where we operate from. That's where we are trained to operate from. So now we're going to untrain that. And there's nothing wrong with this, but here is the I know. Because if we have it here, then that's an ego knowing too. So here it's a little deeper. So what I've been also seeing is there's a lot of meditations, and I was trained in a more traditional yoga meditation where you actually, you sit still, you sit tall, you breathe, and you say a mantra in your mind. But right now there's a lot of guided meditations, and they take all kinds of shapes. A lot of imagine you're floating on ice cream. I mean, it can be anything, creative and playful. And I don't want to judge it. Where I'm going with this is that I have been noticing how right now we can't hug each other, we can't do those things. And I think people are really, all people, not just light workers and intuitives and clairvoyants, but everybody is starting to understand we have the capacity to feel like we're surrounding ourselves with our family and our loves. Like I lived for like 25 years. I live away from my birth family, my blood family. They're in Germany. So I'm very used to making myself close to them without having them nearby whatsoever. And I think we're starting to feel how powerful it is to gather. I have like on these Zoom things, and then people join from other time zones, and it's like, whoa, we're using the technology, but really where we're going, where I think we are and hope we are going, is that it is just a tool, the technology, but that it wakes us up to that, yeah, we can be, and we can talk to each other. Like I was thinking about you, and then of course you can appear. Right. And we need to cultivate that and understand that, maybe not so much intellectually. I mean, that may help a lot of people, but more just practice it.
Our physical body is not the we do not need to be in physical presence with the person to send energy, to send healing energy. And that because we are touching you're touching your family through Zoom, your frequency, your energy is surrounding them and healing them. This is the Reiki that we have been trained. Reiki energy can go distances. You do not need to be in that same room to offer the healing. You can be all the way across the planet and offer that focused healing to your client, to your patient, through your Reiki focus. Again, we're back to that focus and the tools and the mechanics of, spirit energy and source energy. And so this is what this time is for. It is for us to understand and feel on a deep level that we are all connected, and that our focus on that one person across the planet is going to make a difference. You can make a difference. Yeah.
But I talked to one woman, and she is a bit of a loner, and she knows that and states that it's not a secret. She has a pet, and the pet is very dear to her, and the pet has been injured, and I forgot all about it. But then I remembered how it is. I wasn't really so much talking about the pet, but I knew when I inquire about the pet, how that will open up the person for that love she has for the pet. And then it was suddenly very important. And then I was like, well, I'm so glad. And then also I was, in the end, very glad that the pet was doing better. And so you increase the love. And that's just a small example.
I love that. Let me share something else that's right on that point. There are people who are not able to connect as easily. And so what Artie's saying, I'm just reiterating what she just said, is that you get through to maybe that person who is not feeling the love and is really uncomfortable in the situation that they're in, and you get to them through the pet, and the pet's love is going to expand, and her frequency is going to rise. I have a story. Yesterday I talked with somebody, and the same thing. The way through her, though, was her father We talked about
Mhm.
her father and the love she has for her father, and how in the end of the conversation she realized that that was her way of getting out, distracting herself from herself in a way. You know what I mean? So she went full
Yeah,
circle to understand
that's
that
beautiful.
yes, we can find our love that way through an outside source, fathers and pets, but really to turn it around and really acknowledge that it comes from here, from us, and we
Yes.
need to do the love of self. Yeah, excellent. I love that.
Yes. That is a part of our time out here, and that healing is, we heal ourselves, we heal our planet that way too. It's like that kind of frequency is going to nourish um, our Mother Earth.
Yeah,
Mother Earth is very powerful, but it's also, she is a part of a galaxy.
yeah,
And so, with that healing, other galaxies will be affected. So I think it's all on a vibrational level. It is a very powerful time, and we have to continue practicing keeping it up. And it's a practice like yoga. Like one day you're really good, things come easy, and you're doing a handstand and you feel fantastic, and then the next day you're sore and it was too much, and we could easily be crushed and go like, I don't even want to do yoga. And then to overcome that moment and go like, instead of dwelling too long in disappointment and pain and just in fear and in misery, we have to learn to feel no shame, to recognize I'm feeling bad, and now I have to practice to move back into the into the intuition, into the love. So I'm showing it here also, kind of, there's almost locations, like belly, heart, and you want to raise it up.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. So yeah, tell me what you are doing and where our members can find you. Are you practicing any streaming classes or any of that right now?
Have most days of the weeks I have either a morning or an evening class. The evening classes are like 7:30. It's all through Zoom, and you can find it, I think, on my Facebook and Instagram, or Tah will get you the info.
Yep, I'll put it
And
in the link below. That will be good.
I have
Or you can.
restorative flexing classes, restorative stuff in the evening, and in the morning more active and some breathing practice. I do a lot of pranayama and also oming, and these things what are important right now for lungs, for health. And I use my pan drum also in class, like a little sound healing, which is also vibrational.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. That was wonderful. I can't wait to do it again.
Thanks for having me. And it was, yeah, I loved it. And I still need to go out because it was raining yesterday, because I'm going to follow up on the intuitive reading with my Sufi whirling. So today is the day I'm going out to the beach because it's not raining, and I'll be doing some whirling.
Wow, you're gonna have to show us how to do that. Maybe.
I don't know if I have somebody to film me or something. I'm going by myself, but what it does, it really, it sets your chakras, it tones them, it resets them. It's a rebalancing.
Oh, I love
So
it.
yeah,
That,
maybe I'll find somebody to film me.
yes, I want to see that. That would be amazing.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, just a 5 minute, little 5 minute, beautiful music. Thank you.
Yeah, sound is also really healing. So if you can surround yourself with simple sounds, and you can make the music yourself. Also, just your own voice is a good vibration if you're like humming, singing, or just listening.